What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. With the nerfs to Assassins and removal of Deathfire Grasp, Season 5 is shaping up to have a fairly interesting meta. Let's get started. Now with the removal of Deathfire Grasp and the extremely heavy nerfs to Assassin champions, as well as some more Assassin nerfs on the way to champions such as Katarina already being tested out on the PBE, it's no secret that Riot is trying to get rid of Assassins for Season 5. Pretty much all of the major Assassins, except for Katarina I guess, who is going to get nerfed, sit below a 50% win ratio, often around the 44 to 46% win rate, which frankly is just abysmal. Now with the nerfs, it's gotten to the point where carries who optimize their builds properly and make use of effective and efficient counterplay mechanics, such as buying QSS versus Zed, can actually win a 1v1 fight versus Assassins if you're fed. Gone are the days where a normal assassin can just obliterate a fed carry. Now, if you get fed in the carry role, the assassin will have a lot more trouble unless they're already fed too, which doesn't always happen. Because of this, carrying on assassins has become a bit harder. Now, you can still make work and snowball and all that good stuff, but in general, carrying on assassins has become at least a little bit harder with the direction of these changes. And with the fall of Assassins, we see the rise of Bruisers. The tanky DPS Bruisers have risen up and are becoming the kings of Season 5 quite easily, due to multiple reasons. The first, that being able to be tanky while still dealing a lot of damage is absolutely phenomenal for teamfighting and skirmishing and kind of just everything, to be honest. They get to have a dynamic build path and can easily dive in 1v1 carries. They can opt to build more damage if ahead or more tankiness when behind, but overall they will be tanky and still deal tons of damage. Bruisers are the true kings of teamfighting in the late game, as the team that is able to kill the opponent's Bruisers first is what decided which carries live and which carries die more often than not, especially in lower levels of play where AD carries do not have godlike mechanics. The Bruisers are what decides the game in the end most of the time. They have a dynamic playstyle where they can build lots of damage and become an assassin, or they could build full tank and just become an unkillable frontline for their carries, and they have so much influence on the overall game state as a whole. And with the fall of the true assassin, the Bruisers are able to step up and become the kings of the meta. And currently, the meta is actually fairly dive heavy due to the fact that so many diving oriented Bruisers are really strong and really good at diving in, as well as the fact that a lot of champions nowadays that are popular are not that great at kiting and slowing down dives, since most comps just end up being really dive heavy, so you kind of get this battle of both teams diving in on the back lines. So what does well against Bruisers? Well, the best way to beat out Bruisers would be a poke heavy kite team. And so based on what is good versus Bruisers, it's likely that the meta will shift to something that is less dive heavy, but a little more siege oriented, like we had in early Season 4 or so. Champions like Xerath and Azir are already really strong, even in the dive meta, and so it's reasonable to assume that those kinds of poke-heavy, strong siege champions that are great at kiting out dives will rise up and become pretty much as strong as the Bruisers, especially since these kinds of champions perform great both with and against Bruisers due to their long ranges and fairly high magic damage. One thing though is that these champions are not that strong versus assassins, so there is potential for alternate assassin champions to rise up, such as what we saw in Season 4 with Twitch, and it kind of creates this triangle with the three roles in a sense. Overall, it's shaping up to be a pretty interesting meta where diversity and a dynamic playstyle are promoted over raw strength, so I think it's going to be a pretty great season. My name is Jeremy, and that's it for my video on the Season 5 meta. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button so I can tell, and be sure to check me out over on all the socials, which you can see on your screen. And if you really enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe for some more awesome content in the future, or check out some of my other videos on your screen as well. And above all else, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.